Hello friends. So we have finished the three-part series on squares. So in the last three episodes, we finished doing the square of numbers up to 125. Now this would have made your life a little bit easier. So now we are going to start up with the level 2 of mathematics, school maths, and today we are going to talk about multiplication. Now we do multiplication traditionally in a method which was taught to us in class 2nd or 3rd, and till our competitive examinations we continue doing that, right? So today what we are going to do is we're going to compare the traditional method. Then I'm going to show you method number 1, which is slightly easier and known as Vedic mathematics, which would make certain calculation a little faster. But when we go up to 4 or 5 digits, that is the time when we have to look at method number 3, or rather method number 2, which is much easier for 4-digit multiplication into 3-digit multiplication, or even bigger than that. So let's get along with that. So traditional method, let's pick up number, say 73 into 24, right? So how are we going to do this? So traditionally we used to go 4 3s are 12, 2, 1, 7 4s are 28, 29, and then across, and then do cross multiply, 3 2s are 6, 7 2s are 14, and then we used to do the addition, 2, 15, 5, 1, 6, 7, and 1. 1752 would be the answer. Now that is the traditional method where we do 1, 2, 3, 4 multiplications, 1 addition, 2, 3, 4, 5 addition. So that's about 9 to 10 steps which we need to do to get the answer. So now talking about the Vedic mathematics part of it and what has been taught to most of the students who go on to competitive examinations. Now looking at that method teaches us that if we got to multiply the same 73 into 24, how we go about it. Here we multiply first 4 and 3, which gives us 12, so we take 2 and carry forward 1. Now the next step is slightly complicated. Here what we do is 7 into 4, that is cross multiply, add that to the cross multiplication that way, so that is 2 into 3. So 7 4s are 28 plus 6, which gives us 34. Now if we take over the carry forward from there, so the answer would be 35. So here we write 5 and then again carry forward 3. 7 2s are 14, that would be the third step. 7 2s are 14, 14 plus 3 is 17, and we write 17 over here and we get the same answer, 1752, 1752. Now most of the students would say this method is much easier for this. Well, that is easier method because this is a method which we've been doing for the last say about 11 years, 12 years for some, maybe more than that. But what if we have to do a calculation which says let's say 3 4 2 5 6 multiplied by 2 4 3. Now in this kind of a multiplication, yes, we can do it by traditional method, but if we start doing this by the Vedic Maths method, then things become much more complicated because the number of additions over here will start to increase. If you say it's 3 into 3, so you have to do 1, 2 and another multiplication and everything in your mind. So things are going to be a little more difficult when we go on to a bigger calculation. So for that calculations, for competitive examinations, if we look at a third method, that is going to be much easier, and I think that you can do it in half the time which we take for the normal multiplication. So let's go and have a look at the third method of multiplication. So talking about the third method of or the second method of calculating other than the traditional method. So we are going to take up a number, let's say 3, 4, 2, 7, let's take another one, 8, multiplied by 4, 9, 6. So this is a 5-digit multiplication by 3-digit. If you do this by traditional method, it takes a longer time. So what we are going to do over here is, I'm going to show you a small method which will save you time and the multiplication will be much faster. So what we're going to do with this is, we're just going to make a matrix over here. a simple box, and after we make a box, we are going to divide this box diagonally, right? So this is how you're going to make a matrix over there, and then we are going to divide this matrix diagonally like so. Once we have done this, you will see that the multiplication is much easier now because it's just a single digit multiplication. For example, 4 3s are 12, we write 12 over here. 4 4s are 16. 4 into 2 is 8. Mind you, whenever it's a single digit, you should write 0 8. 7 4s are 28. 8 4s are 32. So that's the whole thing multiplied by the first number. Now taking up the second number. 7 3s are 27. 7 4s are 36. Sorry, 9 3s are 27. 9 4s are 36. 9 2s are 18. 9 7s are 63. 9 8s are 72. And finally the last row, 6 3s are 18. 6 4s are 24. 6 2s are 12. 6 7s are 42. And 6 8s are 48. Right? So once we have drawn this matrix, simply just add diagonally. That's all you need to do. Now adding diagonally, the first digit answer would be 8. 4 plus 4 is again 8. So this is done. 7 plus 3, 10. 14, 15, 16, and in 18, again an 8. 1 is carried forward. Now 8, 11, 12, 18, 19. 19 plus 4, 23. 23 plus 8, 31. 3 goes there. 10, 20, 26, 27, and 30 goes 0 here. Then the next 10, 16, 17, 20, 0, 2 goes over here. 5 plus 2, 7, and finally 1. So that's your answer. Now since I was explaining it to you, it took a little longer time. But if you practice, this is much easier, much faster, and your answers will be much accurate. So that's all for multiplication in this episode, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Jai Hind.